Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you're having a great start to your spring break. My name is Mariam Safran. I am part of the Expo School Program team at Expo 2020 Dubai. And what we do as a school program team, we engage with the school communities through different initiatives and programs to empower you and the next generation to explore, create, and learn in a fun, immersive environment. And just like today, we're excited to equip you and the students with the knowledge you need to help you create your own future. So today is no exception. We're bringing you a workshop by one of our of the Expo 2020's official partners, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, DEWA, and we're very excited that they're here with us today to give you a workshop on the world of robotics. But before we start the session, I'd like to share with you a few house rules. So as I mentioned earlier, you will notice that your cameras and your microphones are switched off. You will not be able to unmute or switch on your camera. And we did that because we have a lot of attendees in this session today, and we want to avoid any glitches and make sure that the session goes on smoothly for all of you. If you do wish to chat with us or share any question or any comment with us, please feel free to do so on our chat box that you can find on the right side. In the meantime, there will be interactions with the facilitators. We might answer your questions and ask you for answers, and you can do that. You can answer through the chat box. We will also be playing Kahoot game. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are aware of Kahoot game, so please listen attentively to the session because we're going to test how much you're listening. While we play the Kahoot game, I will also be sharing with you the link to the Kahoot website and also the PIN number. So if you want to have the Kahoot website ready, opened with you on your computers or your iPad, please do so. Please feel free to do so now. It will be kahoot.it. I will also share it in the chat box. So now, without any further ado, guiding you through the world of robotics, I'd like to introduce you from DEWA, Abeid al-Meheri, who will be presenting for you the session on Robotics 101. And the rest of the DEWA team, we have Salman Saleh as well as Arfin joining us today. Abeid, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mariam. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. My name is Abeid al-Meheri. I'm a senior engineer in DEWA. I work in a division called Innovation in the Future. So what we do is we work towards the future and we innovate. This is our sole purpose. Under that division, we have a section called UV and Robotics. So we work with unmanned vehicles and robots. And today we're going to show you what we work with, basically. It's a very interesting subject. From what I can see, there's so many people attending that there's a huge interest in the subject. Hopefully you'll like it as much as I do. So what we have in the agenda today, it's quite a lot of sections, but you can split it into two. So there's an introduction, types of robots, key components, how it works, and how to program. This is the basics of robotics. And then we're going to dive a bit deeper into a robot that we have here in DEWA and that we use. It's called the Spot robot by Boston Dynamics. As Mariam said, we also have two Kahoot quizzes. Don't worry too much about them, like Mariam said. We'll guide you through them. They're not too hard. So we can jump into the definition of a robot. What is a robot? If you want to give us a comment or ask us a question, just put it into the chat, and we'll try to get to it as soon as possible. So to define a robot is basically a machine. You give a task to this machine and it'll carry it out for you without you having any further interaction. That's generally how you define a robot. You can have different opinions and they're still not 100% agreed on. So we're not going to stick to one definition. For us now, it's just giving something a task, a machine a task, and it carrying it out. So to help further explain what robots are, we have a video here for you from National Geographic.
It's a great big world with so much to learn with National Geographic Kids.
Hey everyone, it's Kai again. I'm back with another amazing episode of Nat Geo Kids. And this week we're talking all about robots. Okay, so I bet you're wondering, what exactly is a robot? Good question. Basically, a robot is a machine created to perform a series of actions. These actions could be as simple as roaming around the house, vacuuming up dirty floors, while other robots perform more complicated tasks, such as traveling to and exploring different planets, like NASA's Mars exploration robots, which were built to study the surface of Mars. And did you know that humans have been building robots for centuries? In fact, many believe the first robot was created over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece by a man named Archytas. Archytas built a bird-like self-propelling machine that could fly up to a distance of 200 meters. That's like 2 football fields. Today, robots come in all shapes and sizes. Some are small, even microscopic, while others are large. In some cases, as big as a car or even a truck. There are flying robots that can dive, and robots that can swim. Robots can do a lot of things. Who knows? Maybe one day robots will be able to do just about everything that humans can do. Scientists think so. To get us started, let's take a look at this first set of videos where we learn a little bit more about robots.
Okay, so now that we know more about what a robot is, I saw also a few people typing in the chat that their own definition of a robot. That's all of you are perfectly right. They're all robots. Something that you give a task to and it'll carry out the objective for you.
Obaid, sorry, can I just mention for people who couldn't see the video, on the chat box I've put a YouTube link as well, so they can see it later on. I will, for all the videos that you would see, and if you cannot see the video on the presentation screen, I'll be sharing the YouTube link also on the chat box. So just keep an eye on that. Thank you.
Okay, and also if you're having trouble with the video or the audio, maybe you can try rejoining the same link. Maybe we'll sort it out for you. Okay, so now that we know what robots are, let's go to the definition of robots and robotics. What's the difference? A lot of people get confused. So now we know what a robot is. It's something you give a task to, and it'll carry out that task for you. Robotics is the study of robots. So it's the field of study or the field of work of robots, the branch of technology. So it's very easy to get confused, but it's two very different things. Now we come to the ethics of robots. A lot of people get scared when it comes to robots, because what if robots have their own free will of thinking? It's a legitimate fear for a lot of people, but I think as long as robots do whatever you program them to do. So if you program to do one certain task, it's going to do that for you. So there's not much to worry about. And how can we ensure that robots don't harm people? Well, you program them not to harm people. Okay, so there's 3 laws of robotics when it comes to developing and engineering robots. Okay, so the laws are robot cannot harm a human being. The second one, a robot must obey orders of humans or whatever the program is, and protect its own existence. Without conflicting of higher order, of course. So you'll put in some certain laws that the robots cannot break. Okay, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of robots? There's so many and nearly endless advantages of robots. You can have them in any field in the world, any field of work, any field of study. They're very flexible in their design. You can design them to do nearly anything. But most of the time, they only do that one task for you, whatever you design it to. Ease of access. The studying of robotics is pretty easy on a basic level. So programming, hardware, it's very easy to get into. It's a very easy field to pursue. The disadvantage is what worries people. So the more robots you have, working for you, the less humans you have working for you. So say, for example, I have an employee in my company that welds the same weld over and over again of this product that I'm making. If I replace that person with a robot, it's going to do a better job. It's going to do it more consistently, and it's going to cost less over a long period of time. But that human being is losing their job. So there's always an ethics problem when it comes to robotics working in any field. Another disadvantage is they're very limited. So if I program that robot to do a weld over and over again, it's going to do that weld, but that's all it's going to do, unless I program it to do more things. So now we can jump in to the types of robots. We have 4 types for you here that we segregated for ourselves. They're very general categories. So first we have the industrial robots. Like the welding robot that I talked to you about in my previous example, this is a robot that's going to do the same task over and over again. It can be welding, it can be inspection, or whatever the purpose is. And then we have mobile robots. Mobile robots is one of the robot that we're going to be talking about in a bit is a mobile robot. It's actually the Spot Boston Dynamics robot. It moves around on legs or tracks or wheels. And then we have, so for mobile robots, there's a few different categories. This might be a bit complicated, but we can further simplify it by splitting up into 2 categories. So you have the ones at the bottom, which are the holonomous. So they're conventional. And then you have the ones on the top, which are unconventional. So these are the main 2 categories, conventional and unconventional. Unconventional is not what you see every day. So you can have 3 wheels, 6 wheels, whatever it is, 5 wheels. And the mode of transport is not conventional. And then at the bottom here, these 4 are more conventional. So you have holonomous, which is a normal propulsion system, just like a car. You have track, just like a tank, and then walking. The walking can have 6 legs, 4 like the Spot robot, or 2 like a human, as long as it walks on legs. And the other 2 categories are, the third one is remote controlled robot. So this is a robot you can control from any place in the world. And then this, I don't consider to be a robot, but a lot of people do. These are virtual robots. They're just programs, just like Siri on your phone or Google Assistant. It just lives in your computer. It's not physical. And now we come into where robots are applied. So which industries they're in. They're pretty much in all industries. In the future, they're going to be everywhere. But for now, they're not there yet. So now we can find them in the food industry. There's actually a restaurant here in Dubai, in City, I think it's City Walk, where robots do everything. They prepare the food and serve it to you. There's no human staff there. They're also in education, in construction. The Spot robot is generally mostly used in construction. It takes scans of building sites, make sure everything's going as well as planned, going into dangerous construction areas. They're also used in security, healthcare, and entertainment. In healthcare now they're being used, especially with the COVID pandemic, where human-to-human contact is limited. They're sending in robots with basically iPads where you're FaceTiming the doctor. These are obviously in extreme cases. Alhamdulillah, here in Dubai, everything is okay. There's still contact with the doctors. So what are the parts that I use to make a robot? What makes it a robot? So they're split into 4. So you have sensors, motors, controllers, and arms. So if you look at a computer as just a square, a box, and then you have inputs and outputs. So the sensors are going to be the inputs. It's going to tell the computer what is the environment. So it's going to allow it to interact with its environment. It can be cameras, heat cameras, sonic sensors to sense sound. And then the outputs will be the motors, the controls, and the arms. And we're going to get further into this now. So what are the types of sensors? We have ultrasonic sensors, for example, and touch sensors. These are just 2 types. So touch sensors are just going to feel any force applied to it. And then ultrasonic is going to hear the sound waves that are ultrasonic, so higher than what we can hear. There's also sonic, there's also infrared, heat cameras. So you can design a robot however you want to have its own set of inputs and its own set of outputs. Yes, that's right. Dubai Festival City, that's where the restaurant is. Okay, so how does a robot work? Let's watch this video first to start it off, and then we'll carry on.
To ask, what is a robot and how do robots work? Squeak says, great question, Rowan. A robot is a machine that's designed by people to do a specific job. And the scientists who design and build robots are called roboticists. Most robots do jobs that people can't do or don't want to do. If a job is kind of boring, like if it involves doing the same thing over and over, or if a job is very dangerous and it means going places where people could get hurt, then chances are a robot has been built to do it instead. The very first robot was built over 50 years ago to help build cars in a factory. Today, car factories still depend on robots a lot like that one to do all kinds of jobs, from putting the pieces of a car together to spraying them with paint when they're finished. And robots work in lots of other kinds of factory jobs too, like building computers and even putting candies in their wrappers. Robots are good at jobs like these because, unlike humans, they're less likely to make mistakes when they're working. And they don't go on vacations or even take lunch breaks. Plus, they never get bored. They can keep going and going and going. This makes nighttime jobs the perfect fit for bots. They can do things like control city trains after dark while we get our sleep. Robots can also work in places that humans would have a tough time adjusting to, or where we could never go. There are robots that work in really hot places, like volcanoes, and really cold places like deep underwater in the ocean, and even in really smelly places like sewage plants. There are even robots doing jobs for us on other planets. Yep, that means there are robots in space. There are two robots on wheels named Opportunity and Curiosity that are cruising around on Mars right now. Scientists call them rovers, and they might look like cars or go-karts, but they're considered robots too, because they get instructions from scientists here on Earth to do all kinds of important work, like studying the plant's air, digging up soil, and even drilling into rocks to see what they're made of. Scientists hope that the discoveries that are made by Opportunity and Curiosity will help us figure out how we can one day send humans to Mars. Another robot called R2 was sent to the International Space Station, making it the first human-like robot in space. Even though they're not very common, there are other robots like R2 that look and act sort of like people. One of them, called Osimo, has been built to do some amazing lifelike things. Although he hasn't been to space yet, Osimo can walk, run, climb stairs, and even dance. Robots like Osimo show us just how far roboticists have come since they built the very first robot over 50 years ago. It'll probably be a long time before a robot can do your homework with you or fly you to school every morning, but they're already showing up in a lot of homes, doing ordinary chores like mowing the lawn or vacuuming the house. All we have to do is plug them in or push the start button. So who knows what super cool robots there will be in the next 50 years? I can't wait to find out.
Okay, so I saw a few questions in the chat while I was we were watching the video. There's some people that are still confused about sensors. So hopefully this can make it easier for you. If you can think of our eyes as sensors that sense the world around us in a visual way, that's how a robot senses the world. So the robot's eyes are the camera. The camera is a visual sensor. Hopefully that makes it easier for you. Yes, drones count as robots as well. Okay, so how do you tell the robot what to do? These are all done through software. So there's generally a few software that I use, C++, Java, where you can, it's a translator. So it takes the English language, where you give it commands through the software, and it translates the English language that you're typing into ones and zeros. That's all computers understands, ones and zeros. Yes, exactly, C++ and Java. Good job, guys. So let's watch this video to understand a bit more about programming.
All right, for people who cannot see, here's the link, and I'm just sharing the video now.
Yes, like Python as well, guys. All of these are programming languages.
Sorry, Obaid, we can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, guys. So whatever program you have, whether it's Raspbian for the Raspberry Pi, Python, C++, as long as it's a programming language, you can program a robot with it. You can tell it what to do. Raspberry Pi uses a program called Raspbian, which is an Ubuntu-based software, which is actually a really good language to get into. So these are some of the programming languages. These are introductory programs. So you have two types of programs that you're first introduced to. Like first type is a drag and drop type. So you drag a sentence over or a command over and you drop it into the command box and it'll do everything for you. It takes the trouble out of misspelling or mistyping a command. The second type is just you fully typing the whole software in. The problem with that is even the slightest mistake in one letter or punctuation, like a full stop, a comma, or whatever it is going to stop the program. So there's always a lot of troubleshooting when you're typing a program. So Tinkercad is like the one that I said, the drag and drop software. And then Arduino is the typing software. They're both programming languages. They do the same thing. It's just the interface is different. So now we come to our first Kahoot link. So if you guys can go to kahoot.it, I'm going to stop sharing here and share my Kahoot link. So I'm generating a number now, a pin. Hopefully all of you guys are ready. The pin is 8229701. I'll paste it into the chat.
822.
Sorry, 8229701. There you go. Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes just so you can join. And I'm going to share my screen. Can you all see the Kahoot screen?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we can.
Perfect. So I'll wait for the joining to slow down and then I'll start it. If you joined just now, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll help you through the quiz. Just take it. It's there's no worries. 8229701. You just go to kahoot.it. There's no link for the Kahoot quiz. Kahoot.it. So KAHOOT.it. Okay, so I'll give it another 30 seconds and then we'll start. I don't want to leave anyone behind. Okay, so I'm going to start now. If you don't join this one, don't worry about it. There's another one at the end of this presentation. You can join that. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, first question is a true or false. A robot is capable of completing tasks without the help of humans. So we program it to do something and then it needs no further help. Is that true or false? Perfect. Robots are important because why are robots important? They can carry out work in hazardous or dangerous environments. They can repeat tasks. They are accurate, sorry for the misspell, or all of the above. So they can do everything basically from those three. They can repeat tasks, they're very accurate, and they're good to work in hazardous or dangerous environments. True or false? Robots can become human. Can they be human or are they always robots? Inshallah, everyone's really fast. Within the first 2 seconds, about 400 people answered. Perfect. Still on top, Space Goose. True or false? Robots can be controlled remotely. And they can be controlled from a distance. Only 6 got it wrong. Very good. I can see you got everyone in the chat typing the answers. I know your names. True or false? Virtual robots don't exist physically. Virtual robots are the programs that we talked about. Python, C++, Raspbian. So do they exist physically in the real world? Are they physical? Or are they just on the computer? Don't put the answer in the chat. Question number 6. Which of the following is not a type of robot? Educational robot, industrial robot, remote controlled robot, or the box robot? So is the box robot actually a robot? Amazing. Which tasks are robots used for? What are they used to do? Space missions, painting, home help, all of the above. Robots can do whatever you tell them to do, right? Question number 8. How do robots interact with their surroundings? So how can they sense? How can they feel their surrounding? How can they see? How can they hear or feel? Okay, since these are so easy, I'm going to skip them earlier. MashaAllah, yeah, everyone here is doing really well. Don't be stressed. It's just a fun quiz. Which of the following is not a program language? Java, Python, C++, or Apple? Okay, I'm going to skip it 15 seconds. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, if you get the wrong answer, don't worry about it. It's okay. As long as you're learning and you're understanding what we're saying. Robots can be used for education. Is that true or false? Really close, the first two. True or false? Anyone can build a robot. I think someone's unmuted. Guys, I can hear someone's microphone. Joyful Leopard, congratulations. Third. Red Crane, second. First is Elated Panther. Good job. Okay, let's go back to our presentation now. We have another one. So don't worry if you missed the first one. We have another one coming up now. I'm glad most of you had fun with that. Okay. So now we're going to go into a specific robot, which is a spot robot. This is a robot designed by a company called Boston Dynamics. If any of you are interested in pursuing a career in robotics, one of the best universities in the world is MIT, or Massachusetts Institute of Technology. This is where Boston Dynamics came out of. They're the ones that developed these. So Boston Dynamics was founded in 1992, but now, I think it was last year, Hyundai bought the company, and they're going to further develop it. The focuses of this company is most of all mobility. So they're very advanced when it comes to walking, jumping, walking up and down stairs. Sorry, was it Mariam? Can you check who's unmuted?
Hi, Abid. Currently, no one is unmuted except for yourself. So it might be something from your laptop or.
Okay. All right then. Okay. So most of all, they're focusing on mobility. It has very good balance and dynamics. The legs are very mobile, and even there's videos. If you go to YouTube and you search Boston Dynamics, there's videos of these robots in earlier stages being pushed or kicked, and they can balance whatever the phase is, even if they're walking on slippery ice. The project that this company is going through or have developed is Spot, the one that you can see there, Handle, Pick, Atlas, and Legacy Robot. Atlas is one of my favorite. It's a humanoid. It walks on 2 feet. There's actually really nice videos on YouTube about it. So this is a promotional video that was done by Boston Dynamics to promote the Spot robot and show you exactly what it's capable of. So let's watch this. Okay, so if you can see my screen here, we have, or my presentation, we have the history of the Spot robot. So where it came, not just Spot robot, but Boston Dynamics robots in general. The big dog, as you can see on the top left in 2005, that was the first phase of Spot robot, what eventually became Spot robot. They developed the mobility and the moving system throughout the years to reach what we have now. This big dog and the LS3 on the top left in 2012, they're actually nearly as big as horses. They needed a lot of space to fit all the equipment in there. And now, thanks to technology, over the past 10 years or 15 years, they're able to fit it in such a small package, which is a Spot Mini. We actually have 2 of these in DEWA. See them every day in the office. They're actually really nice to work with, very friendly. So what makes it special? What are the features of Spot robot? First of all, the mobility. There's a lot of companies that are copying Boston Dynamics and making these types of robots, but they're not exactly the same. Hopefully someday soon we'll get to a good competition, and competition always breeds good innovation. So the robots are just getting better and better year by year. So what makes this robot special is its payload. So it can carry up to 14 kilograms. Usually what this payload looks like is a bunch of cameras, computers, and different sensors. That's what they use it for. I'll show you in a second. It has good obstacle avoidance, so it has cameras 360 degrees around the robot. It can see where it's going, where it's been, and on the right and on the left, and it can avoid all obstacles. And one problem for us is the operating environment. So it can operate between -20 or negative 20 degrees Celsius and up to 45 degrees Celsius. As you know, here in Dubai, it gets over 45 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't perform as well as we'd like to. And we have to make sure that we're not pushing it too far. So as we said, there's a carry capacity of 14 kilograms. It's easy to control and it's smart. So you can program it to do whatever you want and it can do it all over again, day by day, and you don't have to interact with it ever again. They even released a new technology where or a new accessory where once the Spot robot runs out of battery, it's going to walk to a charging pad and just connect itself and recharge again and then carry on. It has 360 degrees of perception. It can balance dynamically thanks to its legs and the design of the programming of those legs. And it can cruise, because of its legs, it can go over grass, gravel, sand, stairs. It's very versatile. This is another video from Boston Dynamics when they launched the Spot robot, and it shows you the autonomous behavior of Spot, what you can do. This was actually a huge request from all the industries that already bought Spot, but it wasn't autonomous in the beginning. So Boston Dynamics had to develop it further to the customer's needs. So we can watch this video now. Thank you, Ashley, for your comment there. That's actually very true. So we can say that we don't have to interact with robots after we give them the command, but there's maintenance that's going to come up. So but that's maybe in the case of the Spot, maybe once a year. So you can, that's not much to worry about. So the accessories, like I said, they have a 14 kilogram carry capacity or a payload capacity. So here on the left, you can see a picture of the Spot robot when Boston Dynamics partnered with NASA and the Jet Propulsion Lab, which is a department of NASA, and they fit it with as many sensors as you can carry on top. So they have cameras, they have all different types of sensors on there. Where are Spot robots used? So right now, they're mostly in the construction area and the maintenance or inspection areas. So you can send it into a tunnel where you're not sure if it's very safe. You send a Spot robot in, it's actually going to do, most of the time, a better job than a human. So it's going to be safe in there. You're not worried about hurting a human. It can inspect with really good cameras, better than a human eye in some cases, because they can see heat, they can see infrared rays, they can see so many things. They're very good in leak detection. So if there's a gas around, what Spot is programmed to do, if there's a flammable gas around and Spot senses it, it's just going to shut down. The problem is if Spot is in a location where there's flammable gas, there's motors in the arms and legs of the Spot, so they cause spark. You don't want any spark near any flammable gas, so it completely shuts down and you can't turn it on until you take it to a safe area. And you can see at the bottom here, it does gauge reading. What's really special about the Spot is that it can read analog gauges. So it can read, say like a speedometer in a car, it can read an analog gauge and then give you a digital number. So it's going to send you a message or a report saying that this gauge reads at 10 psi pressure. And it's going to send it to you through numbers, so you don't have to worry about that. It's very smart. One of the most common areas it's in is in construction, so in site documentation and digital twin creation. What that means is before you start building, you have to have a 3D drawing, a CAD drawing, which engineers develop, so that you can spend every few months or every phase of the building, you send the Spot in and it scans through its, so you attach a scanner on its payload, it scans the whole site and does a digital twin of your initial drawing. So it makes sure all the plans are going to plan, all the buildings are going to plan and there's no problem. We have the last video, I think this is the last video. This is a video we shot when we first received the Spot robot, and it gives you quite a few, some more information that we needed.
All right. Again, if you can't see the video, I'm posting a link.
And this is muted, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Ahmed, we have 2 Spot robots in the office with us, so yeah, we control them. We deal with them nearly every day in the office.
Sorry, just give me a second. Okay.
Okay, so this video was shot by 2 of my colleagues, Arvin, who's actually here with us, and Hamad. They've done really good in our department with the Spot robot. Might have to give it a few more minutes.
Yeah, sorry, there's again a small issue that's coming through.
Use of Spot robot hasn't been into space yet. It's just here. It's actually very new. It's only, I don't think it's even a year old. Or maybe just around a year.
Oops, I'm facing a little bit of a glitch. My apologies. 1 second.
No, so I'll just answer some questions until you get sorted.
Can I play the video without with the music on?
Okay, yeah, I'll talk about it afterwards. No problem.
Let me see if I can play that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
both.
Abdulaziz, in the Army, U.S. Army have they were in partnership with Spot with Boston Dynamics for the Spot robot. So it's very good in the Army.
Sorry, I think both the videos are having a bit of an issue.
Okay, no problem.
Let
So I'll
me
just-
try. Let me try to do one more thing. Sorry. Let me see if I can do this.
The cost of the Spot robot is over 100,000 dirhams. Someone asked about Python or a programming language for hacking. I'm not sure. You can use any program you want for hacking, but I have no idea about hacking.
Are you able to see the video on the side?
No. Oh, on the presentation, you mean itself?
Yeah, on the side. Are you able to see it? The multimedia viewer? No. Okay.
No.
Sorry, I'm unable to play this video.
It's okay. So we'll carry on. It's basically the same information that we were talking about, but in DEWA, so within our offices. Okay, so let's go to the second Kahoot.
Obaid, do you want to try playing the video from your side?
From the presentation? Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Let's see if it works.
I just
One
need
second.
to share.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, Sarah, it's based on a dog. That's why they called it a Spot. A Spot is a very, in the States, I think it's a very common name for a dog.
Okay, maybe you can
Okay.
try.
Yeah, I'm going to try now. So the quality is not going to be the best, but I'll talk you through the information on here. Can you all see the video?
It's pausing,
Okay.
but you can talk
Yeah,
over it.
it's not the best.
Maybe you can do a full screen.
Full screen. I'm not sure. I'll give them the information as we go along. So
Okay.
here you can see it says average run time of 90 minutes. That's not the case here in Dubai because of the high temperatures. It's more like 1 hour, 60 minutes. This is our research and development building, which is amazing. If you guys ever want to visit after the pandemic, you're going to love it if you love robots and technology. Here, the Spot robots going up and down stairs, which is a very easy thing to do, given its very dynamic legs and easy way to maneuver. Yeah, and we're the first entity in the region to have the Spot robot, so we're very lucky. And I'm especially lucky because I get to see it every day. Okay, I hope you guys understood a bit more about that. I'm going to answer some more questions after this Kahoot quiz. So if you can go back to kahoot.it, I'm going to share my screen there. And I'm going to send you the link. Just give me a second. Okay, so the link is 288655. I just posted it in the chat now. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few minutes till everyone starts joining. Hopefully it's the same number as last time or more. I think last time we got to close to 600 or just over 600. 700. Let's try to get close to 700. Okay, so I'm gonna. Can you? I think you all can see the pin up here, 288655. If you're having trouble joining the Kahoot link or this pin, just follow along as on the through WebEx. I'm going to be sharing the quiz with you. I'm surprised at how many nicknames Kahoot can generate. I don't think there's a limit for it. Okay, so we're going to start another 30 seconds. A spot can take some damage, like if it fell over from where it's standing, it can take some damage, but falling from higher heights, I don't think it's going to last. It's not made to take that type of damage. Okay, let's start. What's the name of this robot? No one can get this wrong. Please don't get this wrong. If you can't play, just follow along. Follow along as I share the quiz. It's okay. Majority got it right. What's a spot robot capable of? Can it dance? Can it carry items? Can it move around or do nothing? Here you can pick as many as you want. You can pick 2, 3 answers. I'd say 3 answers is a good spot. Is a good number, 3. Dance, carry items, move around, or can it do nothing? No robot can do nothing. Oh, okay, pick only one. It's okay. Whichever one is right. There's more than one right answer. More than one right answer. There you go. Lovely crane on top. True or false? Robots use motors to move. Just skip in 5 seconds. Spot is always happy. DEWA uses Spot robot for leak detection. Is that what Spot robot can be used for? Yes, Spot robot is used for COVID-19 to help with COVID-19. You're right. Amazing Camel, that's a good name. In the future, robots will be everywhere in all industries. They're going to be in healthcare, education, entertainment, construction. Right now, we can't do any visits to DEWA with this pandemic. Yeah, with COVID, you can't. We're not even in our offices. We're working from home these days. So there's no visits to DEWA. Hopefully in the future, you'll be able to. Amazing Camels losing. Spot Robot can help DEWA staff to do field inspection. We'll send it into somewhere dangerous and let it, where no humans can be harmed. Send a robot instead. Is that true or false? How many kilograms can Spot carry? Can it carry 4 kilos, 999, 14, or 2020 kilos? True or false? Spot can only be controlled by remote control. This is actually the remote control that we use, but is it the only way? Can we program it through software to operate, or can we only use the remote control? Last question, true or false? Spot has 5 cameras. Don't let the picture mislead you. This is wrong. Don't look at this picture and answer. Not a bad one. This was a hard one. I'll give you that. Okay. Let's see who's on top. Dazzled Bear, congratulations. Okay, so this was the last quiz, the last part of the presentation, but if you want, I can answer some questions before you go. I hand you back to Maryam. And also, if you're interested in robotics, I'd encourage you to go onto YouTube. There's so much material on there by Boston Dynamics. So many different types of robots. It's not just the Spot robot. And if you want to pursue a career in robotics, we have such amazing universities here. We have Khalifa University, which is one of the best. It's actually partnered with, I think, NYU or MIT. They have amazing robotics programs. So there's no shortage of place where you can pursue a career in robotics. And the future of robotics is so bright, there's nothing to worry about. I'll answer some questions now. We do use Arduino. They're pretty much used everywhere. They're very good. They're like the Raspberry Pi. Very versatile and very cheap. It's coming in too fast. Sorry, guys, if I don't get to all your questions. No, there's no certificate for this program. We're just doing it to let you know that these robots exist and this career is a really nice one. Or just something interesting. Spot, is it connected to cloud? It can be. It depends what you want to do. Yeah, Spot Robot is in DEWA right now. We have 2 of them. We're actually developing them. We're sending them out to test where is the best places to use them and if we should be buying some more. Most of the time they need, the conclusion we came to is they still need further development. They're amazing for what they are, but you can't use them everywhere just yet. Yeah, we do have other robots. It's not just the Spot robot. We have a robot called Ramas. It's one of the most famous robots we have here in DEWA. It's like a AI where you can interact with it, and it's like Siri, but our version of Siri, where it can actually do more than Siri. It can pay our bills, it can do a lot of stuff. How much does Spot cost? It's over 100,000 dirhams. What can Spot do? We just went over what Spot can do. It can run, it can dance, it can carry, it can do many things. That was someone that wasn't paying much attention during the presentation. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to answer all these questions. They're coming in too fast. I'll answer one or two more, and then I'll hand you back to Maryam. Customizable? Yeah, Spot is customizable, but the thing is, the problem with Spot is Boston Dynamics, they only give you a certain amount of accessories you can attach onto Spot. So if you want to customize Spot, it has to be through Boston Dynamics. That's the problem. It's very limited. That's why I'm saying these other companies that are coming up that are competing with Boston Dynamics and they're creating alternatives to Spot, they're going to advance robotics so much, and it's such a good thing for the robotics field. Last question. They're coming in too fast. Can I expand this in any way? Or someone, Maryam, can you pick a question for me? I can't see them.
Sure, I can do that. So one of the questions is, can Spot robots move their arms 360 degrees?
No, they can't. They can't. They have a limited range of mobility, so they can't. It's limited to the motor. Plus, there's no reason to really. You don't want it to move 360 degrees. There's a Spot attachment. It's called the arm. You can also look at that on YouTube. It's like an arm with a jaw at the end, so it can grab things. So what they use it for right now, what they developed it for, is they can reach up to a door, twist the handle, pull the door, and then walk through. That's as much as it can do right now with that arm. It can carry, move things around. So I'll hand you back to Maryam. Thank you so much. You guys have been amazing. I love this. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Maryam.
Thank you so much, Abed. This was an amazing session. I personally learned a lot about robotics and about Spot Robot. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We hope you found it fun, and also you found it educational and you learned something for it. As I mentioned, my name is Maryam, and I'm part of the school program team. And we do workshops like this one that you've been part of today with DEWA and other partners. So thank you so much, Abed and the DEWA team. If you have if you would like to know more information about any upcoming workshops, or if you have any questions or you would like to share today's workshops with your classroom, you can visit our website, schools.expo2020dubai.com. Until next time, stay safe and have a great spring break. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. Have a nice holiday.
Before everybody goes, I have a very big question. Everybody's asking about a recording of this session. And because the messages are going too quickly, you will all be receiving an email with your registered email that will give you a link that you can watch this workshop and any other workshops that we have hosted before, with lots more information on our website that is up there as well. So yes, you will all be receiving an email with the video link. Okay? Glad you all enjoyed it.
Huda, if you can also, sorry, Salman is here speaking. Just want to make sure if you will pass the survey questionnaire to the students also to in order to see the satisfaction level.
Yes, of course. It'll come with a feedback. It'll go with the feedback form. Don't worry.
Very nice.
Yeah. So all of you will be receiving an email with the recording as well as a survey to get your feedback on how the session was. We really look forward to hearing your thoughts. So again, thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you, Abed and the DEWA team.
Thank you.
Enjoy your spring break.
Thank you for everyone. Thank you. Thank you.